All right, welcome back everybody, and welcome to the last, for now, the last anime character deck profile. As you guys can see, this one belongs to Pegasus. Now, at the beginning, I was only gonna do Yugi and Kaiba. Then I decided to do Joey, just to have the three main characters, the three, like protagonists and the two secondary characters that are super prominent and important in the show. Kind of to mirror the legendary decks that Konami released and actually have functioning decks. But then I was like, wait, I always wish that Konami would release a legendary deck 3 that belonged to Merrick, Bakura, and Pegasus. However, I never saw that, so I was like, you know what, once again, I'll do it myself. So I didn't think I was gonna enjoy making the Pegasus deck, and then I made this thing. I was like, I am enjoying this deck a lot more than I thought. Because man, who doesn't like tunes? I really enjoyed them. I mean, they're kind of like silly, but it was the main villain of the show, so we saw like, man, these cards are so broken and crazy that I kind of wish, before we had the cards, I kind of wish we knew how they worked. And yeah, they came out with semi-crazy effects, not super broken or overpowered, but enough to annoy, kind of like the other villain cards, to annoy the heck out of your opponent. So yeah, but without further ado, now this is my 40 card version of the Pegasus deck. So first, we have Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. I know the ace card for Pegasus is Thousand Eyes Restrict, but who can forget this amazing dragon card? When Pegasus takes the Blue Eyes from Kaiba and he spawns this thing. Because remember guys, the Toon versions are a lot more flexible than the original ones. So one copy of Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, and it has to be secret rare, please. It earns it. Look, I love the art. I love everything about this card. Yeah, except the part that it gets destroyed with Toon World, but whatever. Then next up, one copy of Toon Ancient Gear Golem. This card is stronger than Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. It's really annoying. If you guys know the effect of the Ancient Gear Golems, those archetypes, these are very annoying. It can be very dangerous, kind of denying trap card activation, and the damage step, so it could be very annoying. I love how my family doesn't close the door. I'll be right back. Okay, so we have one copy of Toon Ancient Gear Golem. Then we have one copy of Toon Summon Skull. At first, just thinking about it, I mean, I love this card, but you require Toon World. There's some Toon monsters who don't require Toon World to be summoned, but it's a one tribute, it's Summon Skull, one sacrifice, 2,500 beater. And at end, I also realized, like, wait a minute, I wasn't reading these cards right. These guys are special summons, so you can still so you can summon a monster, sacrifice it to bring this one, because this is considered a special summon. So I was like, okay, I wasn't reading this right. So these cards are still pretty good, at least for the anime, format. Tournament, I have no idea if it's good or not. I doubt it. I think it's too slow. All right, then, okay, now I'm sorry, this is one of those rules that I broke. Apparently, Pegasus never uses Toon Cyber Dragon. However, this is one of the best cards to have in this deck. Easy to summon. It's a tribute summon, and you can just special summon it and consider it like a 4-star 2,100 beater. So instead of just going with one, I went with 3 Toon Cyber Dragons, just to fill up those spots, with tribute monsters. And then lastly, I consider rituals tribute monsters because they depend on their ritual card and cards to actually sacrifice in your hand or field. So one copy of Relinquish. These are getting to be kind of like the ace monster for Pegasus, an exception with a Thousand Eyes Restrict. Then we have as well, not just one, but 3 copies of Toon Goblin Attack Force. Why am I going with 3? Because we need those Toon monsters. He uses tunes, we need tunes, so that's what I'm doing. That's why with Pegasus I'm going with 3 duplicates here, so we actually need those tunes, if we're running Toon World and Toon Kingdom. Alright, again, 3 copies of Toon Gemini now. So so this deck can be dangerous because it's got a lot of high attack beaters. Now the issue is that you cannot attack the first time you summon them, so that's kind of like, with these decks, I've seen that you can actually get rid of cards pretty easily, so usually the opponent has a chance to either block, defend, or do something tricky with them. However, oh, by the way, the way I set up these decks is Yugi is specifically balanced with Kaiba, Joey, not necessarily specifically, but it's Joey versus Merrick, and then Bakura versus Pegasus. So even if you have these strong cards, Bakura has Dark Sanctuary, which gets really annoying even if you have high beater monsters. So yeah, 3 copies of this, of Toon Gemini Elf. Alright, and now we go to this card, Flying Elephant. This card looks so silly, I love it. And so Pegasus, I think, doesn't play it, but it shows up in his hand on the Bandit Keith flashback. Secret Air has a win condition. It's just one of those old cards, you know, like how many cards, except, you know, I forgot the name of this other card, but there was a machine card that was extremely expensive when it came out, because it only came out in the tournament pack, and but it had a 1,850. So whoever had that had the strongest level 4 monster at the time. This one kind of reminds me of that, Flying Elephant. Really like it. It belongs here. Then we have the legendary Dragon Piper. Pegasus used this to take control of Kaiba's Toon along with Dragon Capture Jar. However, I put it here because it is a high defense monster. Yeah, sadly, guys, I mean, you don't only play against Kaiba, so I didn't put Dragon Capture Jar there. I mean, on this deck. Next up, we're kind of going back to Toon's here. Toon Mermaid. Similar reason as Toon Summon's Call. At the beginning, I didn't like this card because you need Toon World to be able to summon it, so it could be like a dead draw at the beginning. But it is a special summon when you have Toon World, so you still have your normal summon. And I do love the artwork, especially how this card looks ultra rare. So I was like, you know what? This card is going into this deck. Now we have Toon Cannon Soldier. I couldn't understand why. Remember, guys, I usually don't go to tournaments. So I play more with friends. So I didn't know why the Cannon Soldier was like a banned card or eliminated, you know, at the beginning, right? Because you don't have like today where you can like synchro summon and link summon and all summons, you know, all that stuff so quickly. Yeah, and then I played this deck, and it actually I was able to. My cousin was beating me. Like, he had me stuck while he was using the Bakura deck. And then I pick up this card, I sacrifice 4 monsters, and I win the duel. I was like, okay, now I see why this card is so dangerous. So Toon Cannon Soldier can actually save lives. But it's also another tuner. So yeah, another tune. Tuners are for synchro. Yeah. Alright, next up, 1 copy of Manju the 10,000 Hands. You know why? Because we need to get that ritual card and relinquish out faster. So, but only 1 copy. You know, just to play around with that. I think this is the last one, right? Let me see. Oh no, we have 2. Right. Toon Mass Sorcerer. I don't like this card, but once again, it is a tuner, and it's a 1,400 defense. And also, if this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you draw 1 card. So if you get lucky, get an extra card. And then the most monstrous and devastating beast of them all, Thousand Eyes Idol. 0 attack and 0 defense. This is only here because Pegasus had it, and you require it to fusion summon for Thousand Eyes Restrict. Alright, now next up with the magic cards, once again, Card of Sanctity. We play it as the anime. Don't read this, Konami. What happened? Then, Graceful Charity. And lastly, Potter Creed. As the owner of, as the one who brought back the Shadow Games or creator of Duel Monsters, he better have, all these 3 cards, all this draw power. Not only that, we also have not 1 but 3 Toon Table of Contents. This card is amazing because you basically could search any Toon card from your deck to your hand. So you could play around with that with Toon World or any other Toon magic or trap card or monster that you need. You have 3 of them, so more draw power. Or search power. Yeah, then next up we have a Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, Premature Burial, Black Illusion Ritual. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, Pegasus has amazing magic cards. Sadly, they not all made it to the list. I was considering Fisher. I really like that card, but I wanted other things. This is a 40 deck version here, so I had to watch out with that. All right, next up, Polymerization. And we have Snatch Steal. This card is incredible. It's another Change of Heart, so it's really, really good. I love this card. And I didn't even know there was a secret version, so I got it. Then lastly, this is a card I'm still testing this out. I'm gonna have to test it out, but for now I kept it like this. I was considering to put Toon Kingdom here instead of Eye of Illusion because I don't have that many spellcasters, as you saw with the monsters. However, we have a lot more tombs. But in the when I was like testing this deck out with my cousin, when I played Toon Kingdom, it became almost impossible to beat this deck because you can just keep discarding cards from your deck and you keep protecting your toon monsters. So I was like, man, I think I need to nerf it. So I went with this card. Let's see how it goes. But for now, Eye of Illusions. Eye of Illusion. Why did I say Toon? Whatever. The next up, I only went with 2 copies of Toon World because there's 2 copies of Toon Kingdom in the side deck. So only 2 copies of Toon World here. So if you, it happened to me once, I played, I wasn't thinking straight, and I said, my cousin destroyed both of my Toon Worlds. And then I couldn't play Toon Monsters, so that could be very dangerous. So yeah, you want to keep this card safe. But anyways, 2 copies of Toon World. And then lastly, I freaking love this card in the anime and in real life. This is one of those cards that you're like, man, it finally came out and the effect is crazy enough that it just, you know, it's so cool. So if you control Toon World and a Toon Monster, target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard. If it's a monster, you special summon it, so that's already like a Monster Reborn, to your side of the field. Or if it's a spell or trap card, set it on your side of the field. You can only activate 1 Mimicat per turn. So you can actually just look monster, spell or trap and just put it on your field. That is insane. Okay, so yeah, this is the last magic card that we have. And then next up, the humongous lineup of trap cards. I think I only use 5. First up, Solemn Judgment. This card is amazing. You pay half your life points, so you basically negate anything. So you don't want to use it at the first turn, but you know it can save you from many things. So 1 Solemn Judgment. Then we have 1 copy of Toon Mask, 1 copy of Toon Briefcase. And then lastly, 1 copy of Ultimate Offering. That's all of the trap cards. So it's not that many trap cards, sadly. Yeah, Pegasus, like he has other trap cards, but it's cards like Dragon Capture Jar, which kind of only works with Kaiba. He's got, oh, okay. Gorgon's Eye. You know, I have a bunch of cards like that, but you know, it's like I want the most effective cards here, and especially the way I play. So that is the 40 card version that we have here. Blue Eyes, Toon Dragon up in front. Yeah, so now let's see this. I'm still looking if there's any other fusion cards that I could use for this deck, but for now we only have Millennium Eyes Restrict. Oh, I think I should put this one first. This is the classic one, right? Then we have the actual Ace Monster, Thousand Eyes Restrict. You know, everybody remembers this monster when Yugi was dueling Pegasus, and it was basically this card against Dark Magician of Chaos. To be honest, this card is stronger. It is annoying. There's a reason why this card was spammed in Goat format. It's 1-star monster, Metamorphosis, Scapegoat, or Sinister Serpent. And nobody can attack. You can absorb a monster. It could really save your life. Excellent card, love it. And then lastly, because this was recently released, Relinquished Anima. I don't even know how it works, but it is a Relinquish. It is a Link monster. I want it. I don't, you know, there's still more space. Maybe in the future for the extra deck, but for now this is all I have, just these 3 cards. And yeah, that's about it for the fusion deck. No wait, because I remember the other decks and I have like the new cards in front, so let's leave it like this. Alright, oh, and I didn't show the sleeves, right? So these are the sleeves that I went for Pegasus because I couldn't get the... There's some sleeves out there that is like the picture of Duelist Kingdom, you know, like the one that you get on the card of the invitation. That's the sleeves I wanted, but I didn't find anything like that on the website on TCG. TCG Player, sorry. So I was like, you know what? Let's see, is there any sleeves that kind of match Pegasus attitude, and you know what I'm talking about. Okay, well, if you don't, then you never watched the show anyways. All right, so I just went with these sleeves. It's Dark Magician Girl, freaking awesome. Who doesn't love this card? And it looks really cool. So now let's show the side deck. So first up, Toon Black Luster Soldier. I don't care if you didn't use it. It's a freaking Toon monster. It's Black Luster Soldier. I freaking love Black Luster Soldier. This card's going in the deck. All right, so one copy of this is really good. It's basically Envoy of the Beginning, but Toon version. So I love this guy. Yeah, so let's go. Then Toon Buster Blader, of course. Not running Dragon Capture Jar, but I'm running this because I love Toon Buster. I love Buster Blader, and this will devastate Kaiba, you know, with so many dragons. And it's another Toon monster. Toon Dark Magician. I didn't know how good this card was until I read the effect when I went to like buy it. I was like, holy cow, I need this card in the deck. It's basically you search Toon monsters. You know, it's see the bottom one, add one Toon spell trap from your deck to your hand. Or special summon one Toon monster from your deck except Toon Dark Magician, ignoring so many conditions. That's crazy. It's literally insane. Next up, Red Eyes Toon Dragon, another card that I considered not putting in the deck, and then I read the effect and I was like, you know what? I'm at least putting it on the side deck. Yeah, cannot attack the turn summon. Once per turn, you can special summon one Toon monster from your hand except Red Eyes Toon Dragon, ignoring summon conditions. So it's like kind of like, you know, instead of like Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon where you special summon dragons from your hand or graveyard, this was just special summon Toons from your hand. And then, oh my goodness, Toon Dark Magician Girl. It's like, oh, it's like this one but smaller. It's like, and it looks amazing. I love it. I had to get it ultra rare. So he actually did play this on the anime. I was considering removing some of the Cyber Dragons, or probably all of the Cyber Dragons, and put this one, but you know, then it wouldn't match with the cards he used in the anime. Because remember, I try to keep it as close to the anime as possible here. But I decided to put her on the side deck. Yeah, she has the same effect as Dark Magician Girl, but I mean, look at this art. This is amazing. I love it. Next, and then lastly, I think this is the last monster, right? Oh no, we have a couple more. Toon Harpy Lady. This card is also very good because it helps you destroy spell and trap cards. Then, for the new support, Millennium Eyes Illusion. Don't ask me what they do, I don't know, I'll figure it out as I play. And then Golden Eyes Idol, a more effective version of the 0-0 that we had earlier. And that's about it. So, there are a few other cards from Pegasus that I didn't know they existed. There's like a version of the Dark Magician, because you guys remember Pegasus to control the Dark Magician on the video cassette player that they had on the Duel. There's apparently like an homage to that. I forgot the name. I actually have it. I forgot the name. I was like, man, that would be so cool to have. But I mean, I looked at it. I didn't have space. And there's another card which is the Illusionist. A Faceless Mage that Pegasus uses. There's also a new version of that with an effect. It's pretty cool, but for like the way I play, I was like, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull this off that much. It can't happen. But I decided to focus on these other cards because I mean, I don't want to get rid of any of these cards. And also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I usually go for 7 or 8 monsters and then 7 or 8 magical trap cards because I want to mash it to be as balanced as possible. Now, next up, for what really breaks the game. Now, this is the only version of these cards that I usually go for rare, super rare, ultra rare, secret rare, because that's like the original rarity in Yu-Gi-Oh! But this card costs like freaking $15, and I bought the ultra rare blue version, and I don't like that. I like the original one. And then when I was checked on the website, they eventually had it, but I'm like, I'm not wasting $15 more on cards I'm not gonna use. So I went with this rarity, which looks freaking awesome too, even though I didn't want to use it, but I was like, you know what, this is good because this is a lot cheaper. So not just one, but 2 Toon Kingdoms. That's why I only put 2 Toon Worlds, because if we use the 55 card version, this is going to be very hard to get over. Then we have 1 copy of Toon Bookmarker. This card is amazing. I didn't know how good it was until I actually tried it on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega with, you know, animated duel, so I was able to use it effectively. Then we have another one, Toon Page Flipper. Very good card as well. Comic Hand, more stealing. So if you have a Toon monster, you control Toon World, you could take, basically you take control of a monster and you make it into a Toon. This is what Pegasus used for Prowler and Yu-Gi-Oh! EX. I'm still watching it. I haven't watched the whole. I'm just watching it just to like get used to these cards, by the way. Because if I ever do make another character deck, it's probably gonna be, you know, either Yu-Gi-Oh! EX or Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. But slowly, because my, you know, it hurts. My wallet hurts. Okay, then lastly for the spell cards, we have Relinquished fusion. So again, don't know how it works, but we need more cards to help bring out you know who. Yeah. So yeah, there's more support for the new the new relinquish support. And then lastly, Toon Terror. I read it, I liked it. I don't remember what it does, but when I read it, I was like, yeah, I need at least one more trap card, you know? It only has 5 trap cards, so with this it makes 6. Does it only have 5? Let me see. Actually don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4! Okay, so I at least have 5 trap cards, so I went with this one. So Toon Terror. And that's about it for the Pegasus. Put this here, I guess. That's about it for the Pegasus anime deck profile. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the last one for a while, at least for the character, the anime characters. Decks is the last one for a while. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gives you an idea in case you want to make these decks to play with your friends. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.